Uh, So last week we have discussed to, we have discussed about the basics of ETL. I was just trying to make you understand that why we need ETL. Okay, it is very important. You should know first of all like why ETL, and then what are the different layers in any ETL project. Okay, there's a big misconception that the data engineers or the database developers, they should know the ETL architecture, but no, even if you're working as a business analyst or the data analyst, you should know each and every layer of ETL, because then only it will be easy for you to find that where the issue is. Okay, that's why it is very important, very necessary that you all should know the basic architecture of any ETL project. Okay. So we have seen that we need ETL to analyze the data. This is one of the important core area, one of the important core purpose for any ETL project. I'm not telling that this is the only reason. This is one of the important, I can say like one of the important reason why we need ETL. Okay. And if you are attending an interview, okay, so generally they will split questions, like there will be few questions from SQL, few questions from this ETL architecture, because the interviewer want to understand that do you have understanding of ETL architecture or not. Okay, that is very important. You should know each and every layers, the nuts and bolts of the ETL project. Okay, and you should also know the reason that why you are doing this particular activity. So you have to analyze the data. That is why ETL is very important, because if you're not able to analyze the data, you will not understand that how your business is performing, and then it is difficult to for you to take any strong business decision, right? Next is data cleaning. Why we need to do the data cleaning activity? What is the reason? Anyone? Any volunteer? Tell me
Uh,
whatever you. Yeah.
yeah, at the end we need the insight from the data, right? So suppose if the data is not clean, so it would be difficult to get the output in desired way.
Correct. That's correct. Sorry, I have a bad throat. I'm sorry for that. I'm struggling. So I'll tell you why it is required. Suppose this is sample data. And the sample data I received from my daily restaurant. Okay. On 13th December 2021, it was mentioned as a profit I earned is 200 rupees and the cost was 100 rupees when I have sold samosa. Okay. And then for Rasmalai, it is like profit is 100 and the cost is 50. Okay. So finally, similarly, if you're working in any platform or any domain, whether it is finance domain or the healthcare domain, you have to finally show the numbers, that what's the total profit, what's the total cost, how much taxes you have paid, what's the total revenue, and all those things. Okay. If I will ask you that what is the total profit for 13 December 2021, what will be the answer? You will add this to, right? And you tell that total profit is 300 rupees. Am I correct? Right?
Right.
But suppose if this 100 is missing, okay? If it is missing, now tell me what is the total profit?
Not able to calculate. I think.
200.
Either you will tell 200, okay? Suppose if you are displaying on the report, whether the report is your Power BI, Tableau, OBI, or any other report, if you're showing the number as 200, that yes, we have made a profit of 200 rupees on 13th of December 2021. Tell me, is this the correct information you're showing to the business stakeholders?
No.
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 No, right? This is incorrect. Now tell me, who has done this mistake? Is this clear? Who has done this mistake? If the number is 200, which is not correct, so whose mistake is this?
Source.
Huh?
Source actually the person who is giving the source data.
Okay. So you are telling the person or the manager of this restaurant who has sent me this data, it is
Yes.
his
Yes.
mistake, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The first point is you are telling it is a mistake of source. Okay. Why you think it's a mistake of source?
Because source is important to analyze the data. So if we didn't get the expected uh, source details, then we can't analyze the data.
Okay.
Hmm.
Anyone else? Any other thought? Whose mistake is this? First of all, is the question clear to everyone? And please make the session interactive. Please ask question if it is not clear, because this kind of questions will be asked in the interviews. They will give you a
Uh,
scenario. Okay, you have to think and tell me what can be the possible reason. They want to check that have you worked or not. So you should be clear with these things. Yeah, Aman, you are telling something.
yeah, so I'm saying that it's the work, the missing data. It's a work that has to be done from the data guy only, irrespective of whether from where he or she is getting data, because data is completely in raw form. So you can't say means whether it is
Okay.
missing or contains some null values.
Okay, so you mean, Aman, this is the mistake of data engineer, right?
Yeah, I mean a data guy. You can say data engineer.
Any other thought, anyone?
So there might be also a possibility. So when in the source side their data is generating, so due to some issue, formula issue, or might be there's some issue, so that's why this value is not populated.
Okay, so overall, you are targeting the source, right?
Yes,
Correct, huh? Okay.
yes, yes.
Aman is telling data engineer. Okay, any other thought? What about testers? Are they not responsible? ETL tester?
Yes, Tanvir. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Okay. What about business analyst? Do you think he is responsible? See, now try to understand. And this is a very, very common phenomena in any ETL project. And I know few of you are those who have worked on the ETL project, so you can catch it very quickly. But especially those who are very new. Okay, so if it is not clear, you should ask questions. Okay, don't worry, your question is silly
Uh,
or whatever it may be. Yeah,
okay, Tanvir, I have one question here.
yeah, sir.
So, yeah, finally you mentioned business analyst. So I thought the business analyst role is in initial phase. Like these are all the branches. We are getting data from here only. After that, for daily basis, he won't interact, right? But we are mentioning here one specific date that is 13/12/2021 something. But how business analyst also responsible for that
Mhm.
specific day?
Yeah,
Could
yeah,
you
I
please?
will.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will discuss each and every point. I will tell you.
sure, please.
I
Sure.
will
Yeah,
be
yeah. Thank you.
responsible. But first of all, is the question clear to everyone? I
Yes,
will
then. Yeah, yeah.
I will repeat the question. I have a restaurant in Delhi. Suppose I have a restaurant in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, right? And like as a single entity, I cannot handle all the restaurants. So I have kept a manager at each and every restaurant. Okay. And I have told them that, okay, once At the end of the day, you have to send me the daily transaction report. Okay, so that I can understand how my business is performing. This is the requirement. Okay. The manager who is at Delhi restaurant, he has sent me this data. Fine. The question here is by mistake he forgot to add here profit. By mistake. Okay, that can be any mistake, technical mistake or human mistake. I'm not commenting on that. That's a different topic of discussion. But he forgot to add the profit here. He has sent that profit 200 in samosa. He has made 200 profit. Rasmalai profit he forgot. And finally, on the report, we have shown that suppose there is a Power BI report. On the report, we have shown that profit is 200 rupees. So my question was, is that the correct information we are showing? So yes, that is not the correct information because you're missing the information of Rasmalai. So what happened on the similar data? Suppose, assume, and tomorrow I will show you that how we will export this in a database and all those activity. Okay, so first of all, let me complete the theoretical part, and then I will show you that in database how it will be moved and what all calculations you have to do, what all derivation you have to do. Okay, we'll see all those things. Okay. Suppose this is the transaction of 12th December. Okay. And this Rasmalai, suppose it was 400 rupees. Assume, just a number I'm telling you, okay? So on report, when you will show on report, uh, date 12th December 2021, total profit. Those not speaking, please go ahead. Then the total profit for 12th December, 400 plus 200, 600, right? Okay. Now, if this is the scenario, you have missed this Rasmalai profit. So on 13th of December, what will be the total profit, guys?
200.
200. Okay. Now you have published this report. Okay. The business stakeholders, the product owner, and all the other business stakeholders, they are looking at this report. Now they are a bit confused. Can you tell me why they'll be a bit confused here? Any idea? What do you think of this number?
There is a huge,
Very good.
slump
Very good.
in.
Very good. On 12th December, the profit was 600. Maybe they will talk in terms of millions, right? I'm just giving you a very dummy number here. On 12th December, the profit was 600, but on 13th December, profit is 200. Is this a good indication of a business performance? No. The profit has suddenly decreased next day from 600 to 200, right? So now your business stakeholders, either the product owners or any other guys, they will raise a concern, right? Maybe this can be a valid reason, okay? But they want to understand that what is the reason that the next day the profit has decreased, right? Now tell me those business stakeholders to whom they will contact. They will contact to source team, the data engineer team, the ETL testers, or the business analyst to whom they will contact.
Business analyst.
Very good. They will contact the business analyst. Suppose Jatin is the business analyst. Okay. They will ask Jatin that Jatin, what is the reason that the profit has decreased from 600 to 200? You see, the business stakeholders, they're not telling you that you have done long calculations. They don't know anything. They're believing that this number is correct. Okay. So now they will ask Jatin that Jatin, what is the reason that the profit has decreased? So please do the analysis. Okay. So far, is it clear the story? Is
Yeah.
the story clear so far? Any question,
Yes.
anyone?
Yes,
Okay.
it's clear.
Why I'm explaining you from scenario perspective is earlier, uh, Earlier means around 7, 8 years back or 5 years back when you're going for an interview. Okay. So scenario was very different. Okay, they will ask you if ready-made questions were there. If you're going to attend an interview, you will Google few questions, and most of the time the interviewers will ask those kind of questions. But now the scenario has changed a lot. They know that the candidate has done some research on Google and he will come up with some ready-made answers. So that is why they will ask you scenario-based question. But I think many of you who are working in that IT industry, and if you have faced interviews, you might have faced this kind of scenario questions, right? So nowadays they will be asking scenario questions. And trust me, I'm telling you all this from practical project, the real life scenarios. Many of you have called me before attending this session that Tanvir, I don't have any experience or I have experience in non-technical field. So while interview, can I project that yes, I have 3, 4, 5 years of experience? Yes, you can project that, but you should know the scenarios. If you will explain this to someone, no, they will understand that, oh, he has worked in this project for 5 years or 4 years. So that is why I'm not going through the slides only. I'm not running through the slides. I'm trying to explain you that in practical, real-time project how it works. So try to understand each and every piece of this. Okay, so that you can mention in your project, yes, I have 4 years, 5 years of experience and all these things. Okay, fine. So the business stakeholders, suppose the business stakeholders, what's the business stakeholder? Suppose to who wants to become business stakeholder in this group? Anyone, any volunteer? Suppose I myself is the business stakeholder. Okay. Then where is the business stakeholder? I will drop a mail to Jatin that Jatin, please look into this number. Yesterday it was 600. Today I'm looking at this 200. So please check what is the reason. It seems our business is not performing well. Okay. Now, now what Jatin will do? What should be the action plan of Jatin? Any idea? Come on, who will explain? Anything. I'm not asking, tell me the exact answer, just your thoughts I want.
He will ask
Jatin, yeah, please.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
You can go, not an issue.
Okay, Dheeraj, yeah, you proceed. Someone has answered earlier. So Dheeraj, yeah, tell me.
Yeah,
What do you think?
okay. Yeah, Jatin will ask the ETL tester, can you check the data where it lags?
Okay. Jatin
And
will ask the ETL testers. Okay. Good. So what you are telling, this was the scenario again 5, 6 years back. Okay. If there is any issue on the report, the business analyst will either contact with the ETL testers or he will get in touch with the data engineer. He will tell the problem statement that this is the problem. The profit has decreased. Please find the reason. Okay. Now, suppose on that particular day, suppose ETL tester is maybe, suppose Dheeraj, you are the ETL tester. Okay. And suppose the data engineer is Aman. So Jatin dropped an email to Dheeraj that Dheeraj, please find the reason why is that this number is not correct. Now, suppose Dheeraj is on leave that day. Then what Jatin will do? He will connect with Aman. Okay. Now, suppose Aman is busy in a production issue. Then what Jatin will do? Then what Jatin will do?
Nowadays, business analysts are, efficient enough to run the queries. I mean, as per our last discussion.
Good, very good. That is why nowadays in interviews or in the JD, you will see the companies, they are looking for those business analysts who has a good understanding of SQL. Okay, who knows the basic architecture of ETL. Earlier, we remember the business analyst, they will check that does he have a good domain knowledge. Does he know that how the business works? Does he know the financial world? If he doesn't know technical thing, no issues. But nowadays, you scan the LinkedIn, check the business analyst profile, and that JD, they will ask, do you know SQL? Do you know reporting tool? Do you know the basics of ETL architecture, right? So this is the reason nowadays the companies they want that if there is any issue on the report, the business analyst should be in a position that he should do the analysis on his or her own. Is this clear? So the business analyst knows the ETL pipeline, that from where data is started, where it moved, what are the transformation logics we have applied, okay, and the SQL knowledge if he has, it is well and good. He will quickly do the analysis, okay, and he will tell the reason, okay. But now here the question is, whose mistake is this? This 200, right? Now see, try to understand this, right? Jatin will do the analysis and all those things. Okay, everything he will do. Suppose Jatin knows the SQL and the basic architecture of it, he will do the analysis. After completing his analysis, Jatin observed that this decrease was not the actual decrease, but this is because here on 13 December, the manager of the restaurant has sorry, has missed this number. Okay. Now, Jatin has drafted an email, and in that email, he is mentioning to Tanvir, who is the business stakeholder, that Tanvir, we got the reason for this decrease. This is not the actual decrease, but this is because in the Rasmalai section, the profit number was missed by the source team. Okay, Jatin has given this reason to the Tanvir. Now, tell me. I will tell to Jatin that Jatin, I don't know who is source team. I don't know who is data engineer. I don't know who is detail tester. I am interacting with you. So you are responsible for this. This is the scenario. It goes like this. The business analysts, they cannot give all these excuses. So how Jatin is responsible here? The business, some background noise is coming. Okay. Now tell me what Jatin would have done this to prevent this issue. Any idea? What mistake Jatin has done? What he would have done so that he would have caught this earlier? You know, first of all, any issue reported by the business stakeholder, is that a good thing or bad thing? Is that a good remark or bad remark, guys?
Bad.
That's a very bad, very bad, especially if you're working for a service-based companies. Okay. So you should try that your business stakeholders should not escalate any issue. If they're escalating issues, it means your company is having bad reputation. They will not trust you. Maybe they will not give you further project. Okay. So what mistake has been done here by Jatin? Before publishing that report to the business stakeholder, Jatin should do this analysis on his own. Suppose if Jatin would have done this analysis, that okay, on 12 it was 600, 13 it is 200. So Jatin would have got this, oh, there's a difference. Then quickly he would have found the reason. Okay. And then he would have either sent an email to the business stakeholder that, okay, we cannot send the report today or something because the numbers are not correct. So because Jatin has not done his proper analysis here, so this defect was slipped to the production, and the business stakeholders has noticed that and escalated that. You all agree or not? Is that
I
clear?
agree.
So
Yes.
Yes.
so it's the
Yes.
responsibility of business analysts. That is why you will see in JD they will mention the business analyst, he should know at least one reporting tool, so that before publishing numbers to the business stakeholders, many times your report will be seen by the CEO. Okay, they will see the And suppose if the numbers are not correct and you are going and you are telling that, sir, I'm not responsible, the sourcing is responsible. So they will consider this as a lame excuse only. And ultimately your company will be having bad reputation. So the business analyst must analyze the numbers before publishing on the before publishing to the business stakeholders. Very, very important point. Okay. So is this clear?
Yes.
Now, Jatin, and I will tell you, business analyst, if you're a mature business analyst, if you're a professional business analyst, never give excuse to the business stakeholder that, sir, this is the issue of tester, this is the issue of data engineer, this is the issue of sourcing. No, never. Tell them that, yes, this happened because of this. We are working on that. We will resolve it as soon as possible. If you're giving this excuse that, okay, this is because of the sourcing, we are not responsible. So it shows that you all don't have a good coordination. You're not a good team player. You have to tell him, you should tell to Tanvir that, Tanvir, yes, I think there is some issue in the pipeline. We are looking into that and we'll update you as soon as possible. Okay. Now, Jatin will contact with Dheeraj. Now, Dheeraj is on the radar because if Dheeraj has done proper testing, you would have caught it here, right? He's also doing the testing of this. He should check it that why this is blank. I agree that Dheeraj is not having access to the report. Dheeraj is an ETL tester. He is just checking. He is just testing the numbers. So if he would have tested here properly that why this profit is blank or null, okay, he would have caught it, right? And it has not slipped to this report. You agree?
Yes.
Okay. So Dheeraj is also under radar. So those companies who are perfectly following an ETL or agile methodology, you will see at the end of each and every sprint, you'll be having that defect call, and your project manager will list out all the defects which has slipped to the production, and they will do the root cause analysis that why this defect was slipped to the production. Because if any defect is getting slipped to the production, okay, first of all, is the production clear to you? What is this production environment? I've discussed in last class what is the environment. Is the production environment clear? Production is the live environment, is the final one. Once your development team has coded, the SIT team has tested, then finally you will release that to the production so that your business stakeholders or your users they can look into the report. That is known as production environment. This is the final one. So you'll be having a meeting in which your project manager will list out the defects which are slipped into the production environment, because if any defect is getting slipped into the production, that is a very, very, very bad remark for the entire team. Ideally, there should be zero defect in the production. Suppose Amazon or any other site, Amazon or IRCTC, they have created an app. Or take the example of that income tax portal. Okay, you might have heard that news. I think 2-3 months back, right? Uh, there was some issue, some glitch in that portal, and then Infosys has developed that. Then a lot of communication happened. The government authorities, they have contacted with the Infosys stakeholders that what is the reason we are facing problem, all these things. So if you are creating an app or any other thing, and if there is a lot of issue, so you'll be having bad remark in the market, right? So that is why here Dheeraj is also responsible. If he would have tested it properly, if he would have tested here that if the profit why it is null, if he would have implemented this test case that okay, this is a mandatory column, null or blank should not be there, he would have caught it there itself, and then he would have raised this concern to the source team. Okay, so here, don't you think Dheeraj is also responsible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So that is why this is the responsibility of testers as well. They should know what all things you have to test. Very important. Okay, you should know if it is a mandatory column, it should not be having null value, no blank. And that is why your SQL skill will come into picture here. Now, coming to the data engineer. So far we have discussed Jatin is also responsible, Dheeraj is also responsible. Now coming to data engineer, Aman. Any guess that why Aman is also responsible? Anyone? Any idea? No? See, when you will start working in a project now, you'll be having a mapping sheet. Okay. Mapping sheet is nothing but like this Excel sheet only. Okay. I think I'm having a mapping sheet only. Let me show that. Uh, Mapping aspects. So a mapping sheet will be something like this. Okay, this can be an Excel sheet or this MS Word document as well. In that mapping sheet, they will mention each and everything that what all columns you have, which column is a primary key, what are the domain values, which one is mandatory, and all this information within the mapping sheet. So when the project will start, this mapping sheet will be shared across all the team members, and that will be at a share folder or the Confluence link. Okay. Here you see it is mentioned here salary is a mandatory column. Okay. Similarly, when here during the mapping sheet, it must be mentioned that profit is a mandatory column. So if profit is a mandatory column, then this is the responsibility of data engineer that if someone is trying to insert null or blank, it should not accept it. It should throw the error message. Why? Because suppose if Aman was a data engineer and if he would have implemented this constant check here in the profit column that let's make it mandatory column. So if you would have made this mandatory column and by mistake, if suppose source team will send this null value, this record will not be inserted here. And at that time itself, Aman will get to know that, okay, this record is rejected. And then he will erase a consent. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it is not clear to everyone. Let me explain this a little bit in more detail. You see, I know that ETL is a bit complex project. You have many things to understand. Okay. So I repeat, if anything is not clear, you should ask questions. Okay. Now you have a concept of audit table. This is also known as log table. Okay. Each and every ETL project will be having an audit table or log table. Now the question is, what is the use or what is the benefit of this audit table or the log table? Okay. Now suppose the source team has sent this data to you. Fine. Once the source team has sent this data, what is the next course of action? After that, what you will do?
Cleaning.
See, step one, receive the data from source team, right? First of all, source team will send you data. Okay. Step two, what you will do? You will load the data in a staging area. What is the staging? I will teach you. Okay. Okay, you will load the data in the staging area. Now, how you will load data? What is the process to load the data?
We have some ETL tools.
You have jobs, right?
Okay, jobs, right? Jobs.
In the
Jobs.
last class I mentioned you have jobs. What are jobs? What is the responsibility of jobs?
Job is a script file, shell
How?
script file kind of thing, and inside it we have
Good.
written our jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, jobs are nothing but a file which is having your Python script or Unix script. Okay, and that will be like a statement uh, to the loader that how you have to load data, what transformation logic you have to apply. And this is the main task of any data engineer. They have to create jobs. This is the main task. Okay. So once you have received the data from source team, Aman is the data engineer. He will run the job. Okay. After running job, data will be loaded into the staging area. Okay. Now, once Aman has run the job, his responsibility is to first of all monitor the job. If the job has run successfully, then quickly he has to go to this audit table or the log table. Why? I will answer that. Generally, this audit table has a column which is known as job ID. What is this job ID? Same job when you're running again and again, a new job ID will be created. Suppose you want to load data today. You will run the same job today. Suppose it will job ID 1. Tomorrow, if you run the same job to load data, now tomorrow you're getting 14, this summer you will get another set of data. So the job ID will be 2. Okay, that is job ID. The next column will be source file. Source file column will tell you that which date record you are loading. Suppose if you have loaded on 12th December, it will give you the file name 12th December and something date will be there. It is actually like this. Transaction of daily. The naming convention will be something like this. The CSV file or whatever file. Okay. Suppose if you're running job on the next day, it will be like this. Transaction daily 13th December. Okay. Now next is the number of records. This number of records will tell you that in source file how many records were there. Suppose in source file if there is only 2 records, okay, on 12th December, then the next will be number of records inserted. So on 12th December, you have received only 2 records from the source team, these 2 records, and both the records are inserted, will show you 2 records. Next column is number of records failed. Okay. So what will the value for number of records failed here?
0.
0. Because both the records were inserted. Okay. Now, 13th December, you received this file from the Delhi manager. What's the total number of records here?
2.
2. Good. Suppose if he would have implemented it correctly, if data engineer Aman, if he would have done this constant check that if this profit column is null or blank, don't accept that record. If suppose if you would have coded it correctly in the job, if you would have taken care of this, then in that case, this record will be inserted or not?
Not.
It will be rejected, right? Because inside your job, you have written a script that if this profit column is blank or null, please don't accept it. So when you will run the job and if this job will see that here it is a blank or null, it will reject this record and this record will not be inserted. So now you tell in this case, how many records will be inserted?
1.
Only 1. Only this record will be inserted, right? Understood? Now, how many records failed?
1.
1.
So if Aman would have done it correctly, so here he will see that number of records is failed, and then he will find, then he will understand that, oh, one record has failed. Then he will do the analysis that why this record has failed, and quickly he will get back to the source team that why you have sent here blank. Now tell me who is responsible.
Data
Aman.
engineer.
Aman is also responsible, but we cannot tell that only Aman is responsible. If I will tell that Aman, you're responsible, he will tell that, okay, fine, I agree, I am responsible. My mistake is, it was mentioned here that this profit is a mandatory column. I missed to give this constraint in this job. I agree. But what was the responsibility of Dheeraj? He is an ETL tester. What is the responsibility of tester? Tester should catch the mistakes of the developers. Actually, that is the responsibility. He should check that if there is any deviation from the requirement, he should catch it. So Aman will raise the concern that, okay, I agree that it's my mistake. But what do you think about Dheeraj? You should also catch it. So what is your thought, guys? Right? So that is why each and every member is responsible, and they should know what is the responsibility. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any question, anyone who wants me to repeat anything? I know many are from the non-technical background, many are freshers. If you have any question, if you want me to repeat, I will repeat this. But you should know this is a very basic flow I explained. Any questions so far? I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay.
Yes.
So this is all about analyzing the data. Now, if you are showing this number 200, now see, because of various small mistake, what happened here? Suddenly the profit has increased to 200. So that is why you should know the ETL pipeline, the ETL architecture, the different checks. Okay, and you should read the FRD as well, the functional requirement documents, the mapping documents, that should be clear. Okay, now moving to the next part. So now data cleaning. So this is data cleaning activity. The moment if the source team is sending you data, you should not directly start and load it into the integration layer to the reporting. No, it is the responsibility of data engineer to clean the data. Clean the data means if there is any blank, any null, we should highlight it. Okay, or suppose. Okay, first of all, hope it is clear, right? Now suppose what happened, by mistake the manager has sent this duplicate data 200. Okay, or suppose here the samosa profit was 200, fine, 200. Okay, and rasmalai was 400. Okay, fine, this is 400. Now total profit is how much? 800. Correct? No.
Right.
Yes.
Now on 13th December, you will show on the report that your total profit is 800. Now tell me, is this the correct number you are showing?
Yes.
How correct, yeah? This samosa is duplicate, no?
Oh, sorry. Correct.
So samosa is a duplicate. By mistake, manager has sent duplicate record for samosa, right? You are showing 800. So actually, is this 800?
600.
It is 600 only. Now your business stakeholder will be happy. Oh, our business is growing. Very good. Perfect. But actually, that is not the scenario. Now, whose mistake is this? The duplicate record. Again, the same justification. The business analyst should see the number. If there is a difference, although here the difference is 100, 200, that is fine. But many times, if the business analyst, if you see that the difference is very huge, either in increase or decrease side, you should check the reason. So here the data engineer, Aman, he should check, he should implement this check in this job. That if there is a duplicate record, then you have to reject it. But this is also known as data cleaning activity. You never know the source team what kind of mistake they will do. Okay, and ultimately you cannot tell to your business stakeholder that no, this is not our mistake, this is the mistake of source. They will never hear that. They will tell that I know you, I don't know who is source team. Okay, so this is known as data cleaning activity, removing null, removing blank, removing duplicate. Okay, so in your data cleaning activity, what all things you have? Removing null records, removing blank records, duplicate records. And this is the reason you will listen nowadays, very common SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to delete duplicate from this table. How many of you have heard about this question? I think most of you have heard about this, right? Very
Yeah.
common SQL interview question these days. Write a SQL query to delete duplicate records. This is the reason, because duplicate is again a big headache for any ETL project. Okay. So you should remove duplicate, remove blank, remove null. Now, one thing, you should remove null or you should inspect the reason for this. What do you think? If suppose in this case, it was null here, right? Earlier I have shown you here it was null, right? So what you will do? What Aman will do? Aman will delete this and he will insert only this record, or what he should do?
He should report it.
Ah, very important. You should not blindly delete the null record that, okay, profit is null here. No, let's delete this record. No, you should report this to the source team, drop an email to them that why this profit is null. Please check. Sometime it can happen that on a particular day, the Ras Malai you don't have that Ras Malai snacks because of some reason. That is why, if it is the valid reason, if they will reply that, okay, today we don't have any transaction for Ras Malai because of blah, blah, blah reason, that is fine, that is accepted. In that case, then you have to mark it as 0. Okay. Fine. Any questions so far? So removing null, removing blank, removing duplicate, or you can write here removing or handling null. Okay, this all comes under data cleaning activity. Very common interview question. That what all activities you are performing in data cleaning. So you have to explain this. And now I think you can explain in a better way with scenario as well. If they're asking that, no, tell me with an example scenario. You can tell this scenario. So I have explained you here with respect to this restaurant. You can translate this to any other particular, you can correlate this with an e-commerce site. You can correlate this with the finance world or the hospitality world, anything. Okay. So that's why I try to understand each and everything with respect to scenario. So I hope it is clear. Data cleaning activities. Shall I proceed further? Any question, anyone? No?
Tanvir, in this scenario, there might be some like limitation also. Like our company, like one of my friend faced a scenario where he just input a wrong information in a row, particular row.
Mhm.
So what what he does is he dropped the particular row which he inserted wrongly. Now the unique column, which is there are almost 3000 record, and he has inserted the data in the last second record, like might be on 2999 row. So he just delete those record, those last record, but he want to update those but the ultimate count has increased because of wrong entry, you know. Data become up to 3001 rows, so he want to update the data set, like he want that 3001 row will be set to 3000 row, but he was unable at that time. So there are some circumstances where company make some restriction that someone is not able to add, someone is not able to update, but he is able to delete.
Okay. Tell me one thing, Bhupender, right?
Yes.
Tell me one thing. He has done all these things in which environment?
SQL, might be he is using SQL
No,
development.
not platform. I'm asking which environment. Dev, Seed, UAT, go for prod.
He's doing, might be he's working a product, like he is also working in the operational role, so he is providing the support, so might
Okay.
be it will consider under after the production.
Yeah, see, that is the reason I think I mentioned in the last class as well. That is the reason in production environment, development team, they don't have any access. That is the reason. In production team, only support team have access. Because if something goes wrong in the report, okay, and if there is some issue in the coding, like suppose take this example, okay, here this was zero or null, something like that. And we were showing here profit as how much? 200, no? 200. Okay. So if Aman is having access to the production, what he will do? He will quickly write a update query and he will update profit here to some dummy values, 500, 400, something like that. Because he thinks that, okay, if I will tell that this was the issue of the source team, maybe I will be held accountable that why you have not put it correctly. So he will directly go into the production and he will update a query here that he will give some number here. So that is why in production environment development team, they don't have any access, so that they should not modify any production data in order to hide their mistakes. And that is why in production only support team has access. That is the reason. If he would have done that, he must have done in production. But I'm not sure why in their project they are given this production access to development team. They should not have this. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why in production you will see, you check any project, or if those who are working in the projects, you will see that in production, the development team, they don't have any access. Only support team will be having access. This is I'm talking about an ideal project. It doesn't happen. If your project they are giving access to different people to the production to save time or to avoid those communications and all those things, I'm not commenting on that part. Even that is not accepted. Okay, and even if you have audit in your project, that will be a big headache. So ideally, the development team, they should not be given access to the production environment. This is the reason. Okay. Any other question? Is this clear?
Yes, Tanvir.
Now, ETL stands for extraction or extract, transformation, T for transformation or transform, L for loading or load. So far we are talking only about extraction part, right? That is the source team has sent data, what you have to do, what you don't have to do. Okay. Now there are few checks which you have to perform when you are getting the data from the source team, and you believe me, this extraction is the most what I can say complicated, the most lengthy, the most boring I will not tell, but the most headache task in any ETL project, because cleaning the data you have to do, and a lot of communications will happen, many other things, and you will see all those things. Okay. Now source file. Tell me one thing. I told you that I have 5 or 6 restaurants in Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore, Calcutta, Hyderabad, right? So I will hire a manager there in all the 5 restaurants, and I will tell them by end of the day, you have to share with me a file. Okay, and in that file, all the transaction details should be there, right? Now, suppose in Delhi restaurant, I have a manager, Afsar. Okay, Afsar is a manager at Delhi restaurant. So now, Afsar, if I will tell you that, okay, you are the manager of Delhi restaurant and you have to send me the daily transaction report by end of day. Okay. What are the possible questions you should ask me? Tell me. Afsar, you there?
Yes, yes, Tanvir. Yeah, I'm here.
Afsar or anyone else who want to add, please tell me Afsar is the manager at the Delhi restaurant. He has to send me data on a daily basis. What are the basic questions he should ask me?
The first question will be, what is the format you
Very
need?
good. File format. So Afsar will ask that, Tanvir, in which format you want. Shall I send those data in the Excel format? Or shall I take a screenshot and I send you on WhatsApp? Or shall I create a video? Or shall I create an audio file and shall I send that? Right, Afsar? You will
Right,
ask this
Tanvir.
question?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So if you are starting any ETL project, the first question is you should be clear that in which format they'll be sending data to you, either in .csv, .dat, .txt, JSON file, XML file, or in any other database. Sometime it happens that they will send you data in Microsoft SQL Server, and they will ask you to load data in Oracle platform. This is also possible. So the first thing is the file format. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. Okay. What is the next question Afsar should ask me? Yeah. Yeah, but this is totally based on the real daily life thing. What should the next question Afsar should ask me? Sorry.
The time details, which time I need to share the.
Very good, very good. Are you working on ETL project, Afsar?
Actually, Tanvir, my background is Hadoop admin. So
Okay,
recently
okay,
I
okay.
got an opportunity. Recently I got an
Okay.
opportunity to working on data engineering role. So
That's where
struggling a lot, Tanvir, here. So that's
Okay.
the reason. Yeah, I'm part of your SQL training as well as this ETL training. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but the points what you're telling me, it's very straightforward. So I'm thinking that how exactly you are telling all those things. So very good, perfect, perfect. So are you
Yeah.
able to correlate all these terms what I'm discussing here in your daily project?
Yes, Tanvir. Yeah. Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah, after this training only I can understand what currently I'm doing.
Oh, okay, good, good, good.
Yeah,
That's good.
I can see the improvement. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the next question what Afsar will ask me is that the time that Tanvir at what time you want. Now listen very carefully. This is your job scheduling will come into picture. Your CI/CD will come into picture. Your DevOps, nowadays DevOps is a fancy word, it will come into picture. Okay. Afsar will ask me that, okay, fine, Tanvir, I can send you the data. First of all, tell me the file format. Then we will discuss on this. Suppose I agree on that .csv file. Suppose, okay. Then he will tell that, okay, at what time you want data, Tanvir? I will ask that, okay, Afsar, at what time you are closing your shop, right? Because do you think that before closing the shop, I should ask this data from the Afsar? So what do you think, guys? What do you think? Suppose Afsar is closing shop at 11 p.m. And I will tell that, no, Afsar, I used to sleep by 10 p.m. Send me data by 10 p.m. So is that the correct data I'll be having?
No,
Why?
because transactions after 10 and between 11 will be missed.
Very good, very good, very good. Because between 10 and 11, if there is any transaction, right, that will be missed. Correct? So that is why I will tell to Afsar that Afsar, when you will at what time you're closing your shop or end of your business hours. The professional words known as end of your business hours. So Afsar will tell that, okay, at 11 p.m. Tanvir, I close my shop. So I cannot tell and I should not tell that Afsar send me data by 9 p.m., 10 p.m. or 8 p.m. No, that is not allowed. In the cases where it is allowed, I will talk later. Flash report and all those things will come into picture. I'm not talking. First of all, I'm talking very straightforward scenario. So I will tell to Afsar that, okay, Afsar, no issues. 11 p.m. now, send me by 11 p.m. because this is your end of business hours. Is this clear? Any questions so far? Guys, this is totally discussion. You should ask question. Don't listen to me only. You should ask the questions if it is not clear. Okay. Now, my next restaurant is in Mumbai. Now, who wants to be the manager of Mumbai? Suppose Anand. Okay, Anand is the manager of Mumbai. Same question Anand will ask. Okay, now very interesting thing. I will tell to Anand that Anand, please send me .csv file. Now there are two possibilities. Either Anand will agree or he will not agree. Like in my SQL batch, I think few of you are member of SQL batch. I'm asking to share the assignment solution, right? Few of you are sharing in that Excel file. Few of you are sharing in MS Word document. Few are sharing the screenshot, right? Because you have some reason. Okay. Okay, you have some excuses. Similarly, if Anand is telling that, Tanvir, sorry, my laptop doesn't support, or I don't have that compatibility with .csv file. Sorry, I cannot send in .csv file. It is possible, right? Then Anand will agree that okay, I will send you in .dat format. That is possible, right? Okay. Okay. Now, next thing, timing. Now, can I compel Anand that no, Anand, you have to send me report by 11 p.m. only because in Delhi, Afsar is closing the shop by 11 p.m. So you should also close the shop by 11 p.m. and send me data by 11 p.m. Is that the correct justification which I should give to Anand? What do you think is?
No,
No.
Why? Why?
because there can be restrictions in the area where they need to close the shop by 10 or 8,
Right.
something
Why?
like that.
Both the ways are possible. You're correct. In many places, there are restriction. I remember when I was staying in Bangalore long back. So the students, if they're roaming on the streets after 11 or 12 p.m., the police, they will catch you. They will ask you the reason that why you are still roaming here and there. Then we used to carry the book and we give some excuses that, okay, we have tomorrow internal, external exam. We are preparing for that. Similarly, at many places, you have this restriction that you cannot open your shop after 11, 12, something like that. Or many places, it is a commercial area. You have to keep your shop open till 2 a.m. morning, 3 a.m. morning. You all agree or not, right? Okay. You might have seen this kind of circumstances. Many places there are restrictions that you have to close your business by this time, and many places you have the freedom that you can keep it open whole night as well, right? Especially in Mumbai, this is the scenario. So Anand will tell that Tanvir, I cannot give you by 11. I will give you by suppose 1 a.m. next day. I cannot tell anything to Anand because that is the what I can say. That is how the business works there. Okay. Next day, end of business hours. Okay, fine. Now, third scenario, Chennai. Now, I have a restaurant in Chennai as well. Now, suppose we have Reshma. Okay, Reshma is the manager of the Chennai restaurant. Same thing happened. File format. Reshma told that, okay, Tanvir, I will do one thing. I will send you this data in suppose txt format. Okay, and she mentioned that, okay, timing is I will give you by 11:30 p.m. I will give you the rate. Okay. When you are starting your ETL project, these are the initial round of discussion we'll be having with business stakeholder. Especially for you, Anand, you can correlate this. Okay. First of all, you have to understand that in which format you are going to send me the data. Okay. And what will be the timeline. It is not necessary that in your project you'll be having only one source. You can have more than one source. I remember once I was working in a project, we have 16 sources. In another project, we have 8 sources. Okay. So you can have any number of sources. And I think many of you working in a project where you have more than 20, 30 sources. That's also possible, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So the first discussion is the file format. The second discussion is the timing. Any questions so far? Is it clear, everyone? Okay, fine.
Yes.
So this should be your initial round of discussion. Okay. Now, after this, suppose today's 13th, no? 13th, 14th, 15th. 15th is the holiday, Monday. Today is 13th. Okay. 13th August. Today, we have an agreement with the business stakeholder. Yeah, that this all things will be there. 13th August. We have discussed this, okay? Now, 14th August, next day, tomorrow, 14th August means Sunday. Now, listen very careful. Guys, if you will understand all this aspect now, so trust me, means at least I can guarantee you from ETL perspective, if you're getting any scenario-based question, you'll be able to handle it. So that's why I try to understand each and everything. If you're getting stuck, please ask question. If you have a new scenario, please share with me. Okay, I'll explain that. But if you're very much into, because I'm repeating again and again, many of you have mentioned that you want to. Some background noise is there. Many of you have mentioned during the course that I want to be in ATL testing or ATL development field and all those things. So these things will help you a lot. So that's why I'm trying to put it with scenario based. Okay. 14th August, Sunday, next day, tomorrow. Delhi, Aswar. Okay, first scenario, restaurant one, Delhi, Aswar is there. So I go to Aswar. 11 p.m. Not 11. 11:10 p.m. Officer has sent data. Data in .csv format. Okay. I called Officer. I told him that Officer, you told me that you will send by 11 p.m. Why you are sending by 11:10 p.m.? He told that it takes some time to do all this calculation. That's why 10 minutes I'll be late. I told okay, fine, no issues. I will tell you why this 10 minutes is important. Okay, that's why I'm highlighting it. Officer has sent data in .csv format to me. Okay. Now, what should be my next course of action? And suppose I have hired a data engineer, and suppose again our Aman is the data engineer. Okay. Aman told me that Tanvi, you don't worry about all those things. You just ask your manager to send the data. I will load all the data. I will publish report, everything I can do for you. Don't worry. I told okay, fine. So Aman has received this file. Okay, Aman told that I will do testing, everything I can do. I told okay, fine. Aman has received this .csv file. Okay. What Aman should do after that? What Aman should do after that? Tell me.
He start analyzing those files like the data are coming in the proper month to month over month
No.
count.
Before that, that will come at a later point of time. Before that, tell me the very initial check what he should do.
Is it in the same format? Which
Format. First of all, Aman will check that whether the format is .csv or not. Suppose officer has told I will send you in .csv, but by mistake he has sent in .txt format. Then what is the problem? What is the problem? What do you think? What's the problem?
Aman has written some script which
Very
is
good.
which is only supports
Very
for
good.
.csv format.
Very
Now,
good.
if it's a
Perfect.
text format, means he needs to change his code again in order
Very
to.
good.
Yeah.
Because Aman has written the script on this job, and that script he has written in such a manner that it will pick only .csv format, because Aman is very much sure that officer will be sending the file in .csv format. But now suddenly Afsar send in .txt format. So tell me, this job will be able to pick this .txt file?
No.
No.
No. So that is why Aman, first of all, he should check that the file which Afsar has sent is in .csv format or not. If Afsar has sent in .txt format, then what Aman should do? He should change the code, the job, what he should do.
We should ask for the file again.
Very good. Aman will raise a defect because Aman is acting as a tester here. No, no, no. Let's suppose we take a different tester. Who was the tester here? Who was the tester here? Dheeraj. Dheeraj was the tester. So our Dheeraj is the tester. So Dheeraj will check the file format. Dheeraj will see that okay, Aman has Afsar has told that I will send in .csv file, but he has sent in .txt file. So Dheeraj should not accept this file. He should drop an email to Afsar that Afsar, in FRD, you see it is mentioned that you'll be sending a .csv file. Why you are sending a .txt file? Okay. Is this clear? Many a times now your source team will start doing an argument with you. Source team will tell you that okay, for today no, leave it, no problem, take it in .txt format. From tomorrow I will change it. From tomorrow I will send in .csv format. It will happen. So now Dheeraj, what you will do? Then what Dheeraj should do? Tell me. Should Dheeraj accept it?
Ideally, he should not.
Ideally, Dheeraj should not accept it. Why? Because this FRD, this mapping spec, all these things are a Bible. You should follow it strictly. It is like a Bible for you. Okay. You should tell to Afsar, take a screenshot of this and tell to Afsar that Afsar, no, I will not accept this .txt because it is mentioned at .csv. Why? And this is the reason in the big projects, the critical projects, you will see the development team will be TCS, testing team will be Infosys, the support team will be IBM. How many of you have observed this? I'm not sure how many of you have observed.
Yes, Tanvir. Yeah.
Right? This is
last-
the reason. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
You will see you will be having different companies, because suppose if in the same company, development team, testing, everything is in the same company, suppose TCS is taking care of all these things. Okay, so and suppose your suppose your Bhupender, okay, Bhupender is, pardon me for spelling guys, Bhupender is from the source side and they all are from TCS. So Bhupender will tell to Dheeraj, come on, yaar, leave it, yaar. Let take .txt from tomorrow. I will modify it. Then Bhupender, then the Dheeraj will tell, oh, okay, Bhupender is our friend from the same company. No, no problem. Okay, fine, Bhupender. Okay, fine. From tomorrow, send me the correct form. This has happened actually, and that is why your big clients, Citibank, Bank of America, Royal Bank of Scotland, you will see they will be giving their project to multiple different this outsourcing company. This is the reason. Is this clear? So that they should follow the protocols very strictly. Hope it is clear. Any
Yes.
question? Anyone? You guys are not asking questions. Is it not
Tanvir,
clear?
one question here.
Yeah. Jatin.
So when you told that the file format is not correct and Dheeraj is saying that he won't accept, isn't the role of Aman, the data engineer, to reject the file?
No. That is not the responsibility of Aman. Why? I will tell you the reason. Because once you will receive the file, no, the testers, he has to do the testing. And if there is any defect, then they will tell the data engineer that, okay, Aman, there is a defect. And then Aman will work on that. Okay. So first of all, Dheeraj has to start testing. If there is any issue, then Dheeraj will tell to Aman that, Aman, please check this is not working correctly. And if suppose if there is any issue in the Aman code, he will rectify it.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Okay.
Clear, no?
So here, so in this case, so all are from a same member. So to load the .txt file. So Aman will temporary update the code to accept the txt file. Then again they will change that code, right?
Sorry, Anand, your voice was not audible clearly, but what you mentioned, I understood is you are telling that temporarily he will change that to .txt, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
No,
The
no,
data
no,
engineer
that
need
is
to
not
change.
allowed. No, no, that is not allowed. That happens when suppose there is a critical requirement for the data. Okay, in that case, you have to take a sign off. Then only you will accept it. But generally, it is not allowed. Quickly, Dheeraj should drop an email to officer that no, no, we will not accept this format. Send in .csv format.
Mhm. But yeah, but here what is happening? So yeah, so file is received in the .txt format rather than .csv format, right?
Hmm.
And
Right, right.
they are for same organization.
हाँ,
So
if it is in the same organization.
तो वो जैसे आपने बोला कि वो उसको बोल ही देंगे ना, right? कि you आज के लिए if you will adjust for that, so he will update that code to load this file and change it again to .csv, right?
हाँ, correct. If they are from the same organization, no, so chances are there they will compromise, right? So that is the reason the big clients they will hire different vendors. This is the reason. Okay, is that clear?
Okay, got it.
Okay, fine. So I think you all have understood at least something about this, and hope you would have found this interesting. I will stop here, but please revise this again. Tomorrow I will continue this, and I will show you many other things what you should check, and not only think from an interview perspective. If you have a meeting in your team, and if you're adding these values, that will give a very remarkable impact of your existence in the company. Okay, and that helps a lot. Okay, that will give you an exceptional like what I can say, like treatment sometime, that okay, he has a good understanding. So the project manager, they will ask you that okay, in this case what we should do, and all those things. So think from that perspective as well. Okay, so I will stop here. Final call, do you have any question, is anyone?
So Tanvir, I have a question relating to yesterday's class. Am I good to ask? I mean,
Yeah.
it relates ETL in both. So, yeah.
Sure, please ask.
So yesterday we were using upper and lower functions, right, to
Oh,
transform the
okay.
data. So
SQL
can
we are
that,
asking.
yeah. So can we, treat that as part of ETL as well, to make the data in same case, so that we won't have to,
Okay, you are applying that here.
yes.
Actually, good. But actually, no, that permission you have to take from the business stakeholders.
Okay.
Because what will happen, Jatin, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So if you remember, Jatin, I have discussed upper and lower. So upper and lower, with the help of that, you will doing case insensitive search, right?
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Now, suppose if I have a fund name is India Ventures Fund. Suppose India Ventures Fund. And I have a fund, his name is India Ventures Fund. Okay. And suppose if I'm searching in the database like this, upper fund name equal to India Ventures Fund. So you are correct that this both data will be fetched, right?
Right.
Both will be fetched. But on the report, when you will show this, it will be shown as like this only.
Right.
Now your business stakeholders, they can raise concern that why you are showing this in different case, why you are showing this in different case. So that permission you have to take from the business stakeholders, that in which format they want.
Okay.
Does they want this search to be case sensitive? If they are telling that, okay, fine, we're not bothered about case, well and good, you can use it. Go ahead.
Got it.
But this permission you have to take from the business stakeholders. Okay.
Thanks, Tanvir.
Very good use case. Any other question? And that is why, like SQL is bread and butter. And I know most of you know that. Many of you are from the previous batch, you know that very good. So you can apply that logic here. Okay, then any other question? Anyone? Okay, fine then, guys. I will stop here. I will share the recording, and we connect tomorrow at 10. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.